One of the most dramatic and nerve-wracking matches of the 2025-26 Premier League season just unfolded. A club with European pedigree, a Champions League finalist not too long ago. Tottenham Hotspur is now literally fighting, to avoid relegation to the Championship. May 12th, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Matchday 36. Opponent, Leeds United. A win here would have almost guaranteed Premier League survival. The result? 1-1. A heartbreaking penalty conceded, and a young Frenchman who went from hero to villain in the span of just 20 minutes. Here's exactly what happened and what it means. Context first, because the context here decides everything. Tottenham came into this match sitting 17th in the Premier League, one spot above the relegation zone. With just 3 matches left in the season, every single point was critical. Their direct rival in this relegation battle? West Ham United, sitting 18th. Here's where it gets interesting. Earlier that same weekend, Tottenham's biggest rival, Arsenal, actually did Spurs a massive favor by beating West Ham 1-0. The men of Tottenham could just beat Leeds at home. They would open up a 4-point gap over West Ham with only 2 matches remaining. Survival would have been almost mathematically guaranteed. A home game against a struggling Leeds side. After Arsenal handed them a golden opportunity, this was the moment Tottenham had to seize. They didn't. From the opening whistle, Tottenham came out aggressive. They dominated possession at 57%, outshot Leeds 16-11, and won an absolutely staggering 14 corners to Leeds 2. But the problem that's haunted Tottenham all season long came back to bite them. Finishing. Despite all that pressure, Spurs only managed 3 shots on target. 3 from 16 attempts. Leeds, meanwhile, parked the bus, absorbed the pressure, and waited for their one chance. The first half ended 0-0, and the tension inside the stadium was already building. Manager Roberto de Zerbi set up his side in a 4-2-3-1 formation, with Richarlison leading the line as the lone striker. The Brazilian had flashes of brilliance, but couldn't break through. Leeds, in their 3-5-2 setup, focused on being a frustrating wall. Spurs fans were holding their breath. They knew one mistake could be catastrophic. The man at the center of this entire story, Mathys Tel. The young French forward signed for Tottenham and hadn't lived up to the price tag. Criticism was everywhere. But with Xavi Simons and Dominic Solanke both out injured, Tel suddenly became essential to Tottenham's survival hopes. And in the 50th minute, he delivered the moment everyone was waiting for. From a corner kick situation, the ball bounced loose inside the box. Tel reacted first, swung his right foot, and curled it beautifully into the net. 1-0 Tottenham. The stadium erupted. Tel ran to the corner flag with his arms outstretched. In that moment, he was the hero who would save Tottenham's season. The BBC had already named Tel to their Team of the Week for his previous performance against Aston Villa. Pundit Troy Deeney had said Tel had been criticized as overrated. But the relegation battle seemed to have given him a different kind of motivation. He praised Tel's cross to Richarlison as the kind of delivery every striker dreams about. This was supposed to be his redemption. And then, 19 minutes later, disaster struck. In the 69th minute, a Leeds attack came into the Tottenham penalty area. A high ball was floating in, and Tel, for whatever reason, decided to attempt an overhead kick clearance. He didn't see Ethan Ampadu charging in for the header. Tel's boot connected with Ampadu. VAR intervened. After a lengthy review, the decision came down. Penalty kick to Leeds. Dominic Calvert-Lewin stepped up. Cool, composed. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. 1-1. Tel on the screen, hands on his head, completely devastated. From scoring the opener to giving away the equalizer, all within the same half. The English media had a field day. Football London wrote that Tel had gone from hero to villain. The Evening Standard called it a journey from hero to zero. Even Tottenham-focused outlet Spurs Web acknowledged that while Tel had been arguably the best Spurs attacker in the first half, he became the villain by conceding the penalty. But here's where it gets interesting. After the match, Roberto de Zerbi was asked about Tel. He said Tel was young and incredibly talented. He said he wanted to kiss him and hug him. He explained that Tel had already apologized for the mistake, but that these things happen to young players. It's part of development. Then de Zerbi pivoted to criticize the referee. He He claimed the referee wasn't calm, wasn't in good condition, and pointed out this had also been an issue in their previous matches against West Ham and Arsenal. Whether you agree with the Zerbi's complaints or not, you have to respect his man management. Publicly backing your young player after a costly mistake. That's how you keep a dressing room together during a relegation fight. Tell was eventually substituted in the 85th minute for James Maddison, who was returning from injury. Tottenham pushed hard in 13 minutes of stoppage time, but couldn't find a winner. Final score, 1-1. Where does this leave Tottenham? Still 17th with 38 points. 9 wins, 11 draws, 16 losses. West Ham sits 18th with 36 points. A 2-point gap, 2 matches remaining. The bottom 3 teams get relegated to the Championship. Statistics site Opta currently projects Tottenham's relegation probability at 18.7%, while West Ham sits at a much scarier 81.3%. Tottenham's remaining fixtures: away to Chelsea on May 20th, then home against Everton on May 25th. Both Chelsea and Everton have 49 points each, sitting 9th and 10th mid-table sides. Not easy matches at all. West Ham, meanwhile, travels to Newcastle on May 18th and hosts Leeds on May 25th. It's simple. If Tottenham wins both remaining matches, they're safe. If they slip up and West Ham wins both, we could witness one of the most shocking relegations in Premier League history. How did fans around the world react? Spurs fans on social media were split. Some were furious with Tell, calling the overhead kick attempt reckless and amateur. Others defended the young Frenchman, pointing out that without his goal, Spurs wouldn't have even had the lead in the first place. Rival fans had a field day. Arsenal supporters mocked Spurs for failing to capitalize on Arsenal's win over West Ham. The irony of Arsenal essentially trying to save Tottenham from relegation was not lost on anyone in North London. Leeds fans were cautiously optimistic. The draw was a huge result for their own survival hopes too. Neutral fans around the world are watching this relegation drama unfold with popcorn in hand. The idea of a club like Tottenham, with all their resources, their massive stadium, their global fan base, actually getting relegated would be one of the biggest stories in football history. International Spurs fans are perhaps suffering the most. Supporters who fell in love with the club during the Champions League final run are now watching their team teeter on the edge of disaster. A match that had everything: tactical drama, individual heroics, individual disaster, ball controversy, and stakes higher than almost any other game this season. The questions now are simple. Can Tottenham hold their nerve in these final 2 matches? Can Matthijs Tel bounce back from this nightmare? Can Zerbi keep the dressing room together? We'll find out very soon. Will Tottenham survive? Or are we about to witness the biggest Premier League relegation in years? Drop your predictions in the comments.